If you call that Libby, the fact is that the Jews in Syria are not allowed to leave the country. And when a Jew leaves, he must leave behind his family, plus money. And what you said about why don't they leave, I will put it up now to the fact that you really don't know. I assume that you really didn't know that. Well, now know it. And anytime you and Jesse Jackson would like to visit Syria, tell the Jews out, go right ahead. Now, by law, a Jew is not allowed to live in Arabia, Saudi Arabia, or in Jordan. By law, it's institutionalized. If you want to talk about institutionalized racism, by law, Jews, when Jordan had control of the old city, were not allowed to go and pray at their holy places. By law, they tore down every synagogue in the old city. I can't even begin to respond to this kind of thing, because it is so clear that what we have is a blind, vicious hatred against Jews. And you talk about me hating Arabs. As far as I'm concerned, Arabs have a right to pray in their mosques. As far as I'm concerned, they have a right to live in Israel, practicing their personal rights. As far as I'm concerned, having accepted the 1947 partition plan, I would have sadly accepted the fact that Jerusalem was an international city. I would have accepted it for the sake of peace. But when they said no, and they fought us, and they killed our soldiers, and they lost. And I urge the Palestinians not to think of a sixth war, because if you start it, you lose again. And this time, if we liberate part of Jordan, that's ours too. So let's live in peace. Let us live in peace. And let Arabs visit Israel freely and pray at their holy places. And let Jews travel throughout the Arab world freely. Let Jews of Syria go free if they wish to, and those that want to stay, stay. And let's put an end to the real racism, the real racism, which is institutionalized only in Arab states.
We'll follow our comments further if you wish.
Yeah, I'd like to comment and just ask Mr. Kahane, Rabbi Kahane, if he is quoted accurately here in the Jewish newspaper. Kahane, quote, "If I have the power, I'll take them out physically. Either they'll leave with reparations or they'll have to leave without the money. If that does not happen, we will kill Arabs here every week. Not me, the Israeli Defense Forces. In the meantime, we have to make their life insufferable. First, the Social Security should be transferred to the hands of the Jewish agency and then pay only Jews. Second, every Arab will have to go to a labor camp for 3 years and serve as reserves there every year after that. If I have 4% of the people on my side, I may be obligated to, according to the halakha, to take over the government by force. You have to think about that. And Haaretz. Kahane conducted a tour of the Tel Aviv outdoor markets. His men searched for Arab employees. When a young woman refused to accept their pamphlets, they yelled at her, whore, stinking Ashkenazi leftist. The woman turned to call them fascists. When the police wanted to know what he was doing at the market, Kahane said he was just there to wish people a Happy New Year."
No, that's not an accurate quote.
Why don't you tell us what happened?
I don't know what you're talking about. Why not tell me where it's from and what the date is?
The Haaretz is October 5th, 1984. The Halam Mazda is September 23rd.
Wait. Hold on. Again. Excuse me, again. That's Haaretz, and the
It's
other one?
a Israeli newspaper.
Haaretz, October 5th, 1984, was the conducting tour of the Tel Aviv outdoor markets.
And
The
so-
Olam Hazda,
Olam Hazda.
October 23rd, 84. Are those accurate?
No. Olam Hazeh is published by a man, Uri Al-Neri, who in the middle of the Lebanese war visited Beirut and Arafat, took photos of him, painted a glorious picture of him. He's one of the most hated people inside Israel. His magazine, which you quoted from, is one of the great rags. It's half porno and half lies. Incredible for someone such as yourself, who was upset at the news media for being biased towards Israel, and therefore not willing to accept it at face value. But when you like what it says, you accept it at face value. Well, I can tell you that that you are right on one thing. The news media is biased, the news media is slanted, and especially those two papers, which are unbelievably biased papers, that they even make the news media in this country look honest.
Well, I think that was an interesting deviation into the world of the media. So let's conclude the questions with this question for Rabbi Kahane. And then, gentlemen, I think the hour being what it is, and the comprehensive nature being of your comments being what they have been, that perhaps you can each sum up in 5 minutes rather than 7 minutes. But the last question, Rabbi Kahane first, is whether you have a view on what the duty of American Jews should be with respect to Israel.